What's up, guys? Welcome to the Red Rose tournament for Duelist of the Roses, or the Red Rose campaign, rather. So I have a big apology to make for this video, and that is the fact that me and Michael recorded this last night with the following video, which is going to be against this opponent down here against Necromancer. And the footage for the fights against Rex and Weevil got corrupted somehow, so I lost the footage entirely, and it's unusable. I can't do anything with it. So the original duels against him that showed the opening for the Red Rose campaign with the Lancastrians is, I'm sorry, with the two doors is gone. So I can't do anything with it. It's gone. So I figured, what am I going to do about that? Well, luckily we can just fight them again. As I've been doing to grind off of certain opponents for cards, we can just fight them again. As you can see, I have one win, and we have unlocked the next couple of opponents here. I'll go into them whenever it's relevant. But in the meantime, we have to fight Weevil and Rex again just to show them on screen. So I've had to make some serious modifications to my deck to lower my deck costs enough to fight Weevil. So we've taken out a lot of the broken spell and trap cards like Monster Reborn and Fissure and that kind of thing that we had during the battle against the final boss, as well as I took out one of the Guy the Fierce Knights, and some of the high deck cost cards like that. I still have the two Sojins in here, so I've added this Bear Trap as well. That's a pretty good trap card. It only has 10 deck cost, but it triggers against a monster with 2,000 or less attack, so that's pretty good. I'm actually going to put that down. So, Weevil is actually a much tougher opponent than Taya was, respectively, for the Red Rose campaign. And, he has... Let me see, I can't use Legendary Sword right now. I suppose I may as well use Flaming Swordsman. We'll see what this is. It didn't trigger the Bear Trap, so I hope it doesn't have more than 2,000 attack. I better find out. Nope. Okay. Worm. Yeah, he's quite a formidable opponent compared to what we were fighting on the White Rose side early on, because he has almost the entire terrain is to his advantage. So there's, much like Mai was, there's not a lot of room for error here. He always puts his deck leader pretty much in the same place, and most of his monsters average over 2,000 attack on the forest terrain. So we've got quite a... the odds are stacked against us unless we can change the terrain in our favor, which we were able to do in the previous duel against him. So I'm actually going to set that, maybe wait for him to move in closer and deal some more damage. He also has his own ritual monster. He has Javelin Beetle, which I've never actually seen him summon ever. He also has a lot of those larvae cards, including Needleworm, have the ability to be transformed into a certain monster using Cocoon of Evolution, and that allows him to... It's like a pupae of moth, or larvae of moth, rather, which allows him to eventually turn into Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, which is one of the most powerful monsters in the game, actually. Let me see, can I make Flame Cerberus? Let me try. Nope. Okay, oh well. Not off to a good start here. Like I said, I really need to change the terrain to have any kind of chance against him right now. That'll lower his attack significantly. His deck leader is, let's face it, basic, as in it doesn't have it's just a basic insect which has only 500 attack. He doesn't have any special deck leader abilities or anything like that. And he does have that monster in his deck somewhere, so not all of his monsters are powerful, but enough of them are to be concerning. Alright, let's move this over a little bit and get Sojin down, like, kind of in his area, so he doesn't really have a lot of room to maneuver. And that Hercules Beetle there should be spellbound for another couple of turns, so I can drop something else on the board and run it over if I get the opportunity. You can also fuse Hercules Beetle into Kolgar Hercules, which would have 2,400 on the forest. And that's a very, very common play that he'll do. It requires little to no effort for him to be able to pull it off. I wonder if I can make Judge Man. That would be good. Alright. Judge Man's going to have 3,200, I think? Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know why it took me so long to realize that I could just fight these guys again, because like, I have literally the same deck. All I need to do is modify my deck cost a little bit and go fight them again. I thought I had to, like, load my other save file and proxy out my deck. I'm like, no, we can just refight them. You can always do that. Whatever this is, he seems pretty confident, so maybe we need to drop something more powerful on the board. I don't know if that'll make Flame Cerberus, or do I want to make Flame Swordsman right here? Yeah, let's go for it. That's game. Okay, that was over really quickly. Yeah, he normally makes a lot better plays than that. He also has a plant monster, Rose Spectre of Dun, which is or Dune, however you want to say it. Which would have 2,500 on the force because it's a plant type. I think you can make that through fusions as well, like I'm not sure what type of monsters. So if it's anything I hope to win from this, it's just the Needleworm and the other Larvae Moth kind of monsters. I got Basic Insect, which I don't need, I got Petite Moth, and I got Needleworm. So Petite Moth and Needleworm are both monsters that can turn into Larvae of Moth with Cocoon of Evolution, which means that they can eventually turn into Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, which, like I said, Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, one of the most powerful monsters in the game. You're not going to see the dialogue for me defeating him, and you're not going to get the story dialogue for siding with the Lancastrians either, so that's unfortunate. Alright, now let's head to fight Rex, who obviously has a dinosaur deck, and it's mostly wasteland terrain. Oh, but getting back to what I was saying, the most obscenely powerful thing about Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth is the fact that as long as it is, like, if it's in face-up defense position, every turn it'll decrease the attack of your opponent's monsters by 100 points. You can just sit it there, and it will eventually decrease your opponent's life all the way down, or your opponent's monsters all the way down to 0. And you can just run them over for 3,500. It's ridiculous. There's another monster that does the same thing that's easier to get out, and that's a very evil card. It's used for some of the more techie and strategic plays that you can make in this game that aren't just like, get a bigger monster than what he has kind of play. So I got lucky off the bat here and got Sojin out. Of course, I'm not so much worried about the terrain here with Rex, but I'm definitely going to be trying to get Flame Swordsman out, because Flame Swordsman, his effect is he gets a power bonus against dinosaur-type monsters, which I guess was alluded to in like one episode of the show where Joey fought Rex, but honestly it's kind of under-explained, I guess. Like, it's never really outright stated, and the real Flame Swordsman has no effect in the card game. In fact, it's a fusion monster. Which means it can be made by fusion in this game and in Forbidden Memories, where it has no effect. So, he has that, but he also has Red Medicine, which can increase his life points, which is just annoying. It's not really a game changer or anything like that. But he has a lot of powerful monsters too. He has Megazowler, he has Practical, he has Sword Arm of Dragon, and Brachioradius is his most powerful, which would have 2,200 and 2,700 on the wasteland terrain. So even if you have a powered up Flame Swordsman with 2,300 that will gain another 300 from fighting a dinosaur-type monster, he will still lose out to Brachioradius if he's on the wasteland terrain. So that's actually what happened to me in the previous time we fought Rex. I can make a Judge Man if I want to. I put Celtic Guardian here. I don't think I explained exactly what he does, but he's going to be very, very useful for our duel coming up soon. So I'm going to try to get Judge Man on the board here. So we got the male judge and the female judge. I wonder if I can run that over, whatever that is. Nope! Okay. That's bad. So he must have powered that up somehow. Yeah, he put Raised Body Heat on. I wasn't paying attention apparently when he did that, so let's have him move it up into the meadow and hopefully it won't be as powerful. Yeah, he does have power-ups. Weevil also has power-ups. Thankfully, they're pretty few and far between. But they're definitely there. Put Tactical Warrior down just so we can have the opportunity to power up our monsters if we get Flame Swordsman on the board. like I was saying earlier in the game we fought Mako, when it comes to the AI not understanding the effects of cards like that, like the AI doesn't know to check for the fact that Flame Swordsman will gain a power bonus against a dinosaur-type monster, just like they don't know how to check for the fact that Aqua Dragon is going to change the terrain every time you engage in battle with him, which means that, like I said with Aqua Dragon, he basically breaks the game because your opponent will constantly be running into him, trying to think they can get over him, and he's just going to just change the terrain and suddenly have 2750. So it's pretty overpowered in that regard. I'm not crazy about Warrior Tradition. I still have Griggle in there for fusion purposes, and the fact that I had to decrease my deck cost back down to be able to fight these guys. And I actually had to decrease my deck cost even lower to fight the next opponent, which is the Necromancer, because he has like 700 something. And I increased it back up afterward. Yeah, sure, let's get that on the board. This was a very long duel the first time as well, because I'm basically chasing him all around the map. I may want to actually give myself some room here to summon something in that space, like maybe move Multi-Late now. There's Flame Swordsman. Maybe I can send Flame Swordsman back down the other way and cut him off that way. I'll have Tactical Warrior go behind him. This is going to take a little while, so I apologize for that at least. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, we're going to be leaving Warrior Tradition on the meadow there in hopes that he'll either run it over or he'll stay where he's at. We can keep him at a stalemate. Yeah, the Red Rose side is objectively the harder one. I've definitely made it a lot easier by carrying over my deck from the previous campaign, which is what you guys wanted to see, apparently, but, you know, it's not impossible to get through this with a starting deck. I've obviously done it multiple times before, and I don't know that I've done it exactly with a Warrior deck, but I've definitely done it where I've been able to create Flame Swordsman, because he's been a essential asset, but even with 20, or he would have like 2100 when he battles a dinosaur, it's still not enough to get over some of these things. I'm actually going to go ahead and flip up Tactical Warrior. Okay, so now whatever he battles with, he'll have 2900, or if he battles with something on the meadow, God forbid. Oh, only have 22. I'm going to leave it there for now. Just see what direction he goes in. If he goes over to his left there, it's going to be a problem, because then I'll have to send something down the other column. This map is dumb, by the way, too, because of the fact that it's sectioned off like this by these columns of labyrinth terrain. Let's wait. Okay, whatever that is, he seems to be proud of it, so let's run it over. Alright. Yeah, now I think it's time to move in. He's essentially just going to be... He's going to have to go in that direction now, so... Probably gonna have to have Flame Swordsman be the spearhead, unfortunately. Nothing else I really want to play. The Again, he may drop something that can get over Flame Swordsman, and then its effect will trigger, which will be good. Will be nice. He's also, Michael pointed this out last night, he's also one of the duelists that doesn't check off every single card that he plays, like, before he ends his turn. Which is uncommon. I don't know why the game decides to do that. Anyway. I've got to get something else on the board. Let me move down a little bit. Because he can easily play something that can get over Tactical Warrior if he's going that direction. In fact, he might be doing it right now. Yep. That bought us a little bit of time at least. Yeah, for some reason, Crawling Dragon number 2 is a dinosaur, even though Crawling Dragon number 1 is obviously a dragon. So that's why he has it in his deck. Right, this might be able to get us a good advantage. Let's move in Battlesteer, and then when he attacks, it'll run into Tears of the Mermaid, and it will decrease his attack a little bit. Yeah, like I said, this duel just takes a long time because there's no easy way to get to him even with the terrain change there. It only covers so many areas. We can't get rid of the labyrinth terrain no matter what we do. Alright. I wonder if I should get something more powerful on the board. There's Blacklist Ritual, but I won't be able to really use that right now. I guess I'm just going to have to deal with the damage that I give him, even though it's not a whole lot. Whatever's behind it could easily be more powerful as well, but we've got him boxed in pretty much now. Unfortunately, he's like done a full circle around the map pretty much, which is ridiculous. Yep. We're gonna have to get over that somehow. Probably with Swordsman from 4 land. That's his deck leader, by the way, is Two-Headed King Rex, which admittedly is not anything special. It's a major, but I don't think it has any. I think it has increased movement for same type friendlies, which is nothing special when you consider the fact that they all get a movement bonus anyway, so who cares? Alright, both of our deck leaders are exposed, and I can't actually get all the way to him right now. Unfortunately, I should put down this trap. And then hopefully whatever he plays will get destroyed by this. And then I can just attack him directly. We're forming the conga line of death here, so to speak, because none of these other monsters behind him can move or do anything. They're not getting in on any of the action either, which is unfortunate. That was unexpected. So he moved his deck leader up so he can't play anything in that spot. Probably because the AI just happens to know if that's not a monster. So I can finish him off now. Go, Celtic Guardian! Alright, so that's it for that. Flame Swordsman is promoted! Yay! We could make him the deck leader if we really wanted to, but we're going with the female strategy for this run. I don't care what any of these are, honestly. I don't care what I get from this. I got a little D. And I got, ooh, Eternal Rest is actually pretty good. Actually, that would have been very nice to have going into the next duel because it destroys all zombie-type monsters on the field, which would have been nice for fighting Necromancer. But it's too late for that now because we've already fought him. You guys will see that fight in the next video.